Hi guys, welcome back to the Big Sew Along. I'm Ginny, and as always, I thank you very much for choosing to spend some time with me. Today I have three things I made from my vintage or out of print Zandra Rhodes patterns that I talked about a few weeks ago. I want to share those with you. Before I do, I have a couple of other things. First, I am wearing, today I am wearing my Aeolian tee from pattern Fantastique. I made this several years ago. This is the dress version, and I love it. I wear it all the time. I pulled this out today after we were talking about different kind of patterns last week, and yeah, I haven't worn it for a while, and I forgot how much I like this. Along with that, along with the patterns we were talking about last week, first, I was talking about the Roberts Wood patterns, and one of you commented that the price was like really high in Canada. And I was like, oh, I didn't really like think to look at the prices. I just looked it up this morning. The one pattern, I think it's called the grid dress pattern, is 34 British pounds. So that's what I was thinking was like 34 bucks. Well, obviously that's not correct because that's 39 euros. It is 45 US dollars. It's 63 Canadian dollars and a eye-watering 70 Australian dollars, which is bonkers. Now, that is not, I'm not saying this as a commentary on the designers' prices or anything like that. I think designers need to get paid what they need to get paid. It's more a commentary on like the state of the world economy right now, which is apparently way out of control. That is just crazy. What did I say it was? It's 45 US dollars. I would have a hard time justifying $45 for a pattern, to say nothing of 70. So anyways, the other thing is a couple of you guys did recommend a couple of other pattern companies that I had not heard of before, and I thought I would share those with everybody here. Anne actually recommended the patterns from Atelier Brunette. I think that's how you say it. It's a French company. She recommended this one, which is called La Blouse, or the blouse, I guess. They also have a really cool shirt called La Chemise. And I'm in love with these pants called the Le Pantalon Ceinture. I don't know how to say that. Sorry, my French is more than a little rusty. Anyways, you guys may have heard of Atelier Brunette because they do have fabrics. I purchased for some of their fabrics like here in the US before. I did not know that they made patterns. Yeah, so I was really excited to see those. Definitely check them out. Another Anne also recommended Oki Style. Now, Oki Style is a company that I had heard of before, but I forgot about. I haven't seen them. I discovered them, I think, on it wasn't even on Etsy. It was like an Etsy type platform, but it was for Europeans primarily a long time ago when Etsy very first started, I think. So I don't have any of her patterns, but her patterns are very cool. This one here is called the Joker shirt. I love the detailing in this shirt. And these, of course, I would fall in love with these Dallas pants because they have like a drop crotch. They almost look like a riding pant. Somebody else, and I apologize, I try to say your names if I know what they are, but sometimes your usernames aren't your name. So whoever it was, you'll know who you are. One of you recommended somebody called Sistermag, which I had also never heard of before. This wide blouse with smocking I think is really cool. I feel like smocking is sort of coming back into vogue lately. So if you wanted to try that, this has a small amount of smocking in it, which I think could be really fun to play around with. And then another pair of what look like riding pants. These are called the Storm Breeches. I think these are super cool. I love the buttons on the leg, and they do have like a sort of a drop crotch, not like a super drop crotch, maybe more like just like a wider seat or something. I don't know, they're very cool looking. And then the last one was another person whose name I don't have, but she recommended this company called, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce the first name very well. I'll put all these names up here, and as always, I'll have links for you below. The designer's name is Marlies Reukers, and she has one pattern. It is this pattern. It's called the Jigsaw Pants, which is sort of in line with the Roberts Wood patterns that I was talking about last week, because it's obviously it's a jigsaw. It's like a bunch of puzzle pieces. It looks like sort of like a braid going down the side of the leg. I have a few pictures here from that I snagged off of Instagram, just so you can see the detail a little better. I think these are super, super cool. They come in two different variations, like a higher rise and more like a mid-rise, and then they come in a variety of lengths. It did take me a little while to sort out what pattern I needed to purchase in this, but it was not really that big of an issue. I did buy this pattern because I really, really love the idea of using this sort of patchwork kind of scheme. I do not remember the price on this, but it was not, I actually do. I think I paid $20 US for this pattern. So, yeah, I bought the pattern. I have it printed out and cut out, and I'm going to work on that in the next week or so, and hopefully I'll have something to show for you there. Okay, that's it for my follow-up. The patterns I worked on from Zandra Rhodes, I started with this pattern right here, which is Vogue 1491. This, I'm going to show you a hand drawing made of sort of what the pattern layout looks, and you'll have to excuse my bad drawing, but it's essentially a rectangle with a hole cut out for the neck and then two holes cut out for the arms. And then you're instructed to put bands all around the bottom. And then you have two, what are essentially tubes that get stuck on to the side for the sleeves. So I did not use the bands for this one, and I also did not use the arms, because I made this one here out of an old tablecloth. And I can't remember what size I made on this, you guys. I apologize. I used a tablecloth that I think I got at a house sale or something. So it was literally all of the fabric that I had. I did consider adding the bands in a different color, but I really didn't want to. I didn't want it to look like just like an add-on, and I felt like it would. Anyways, this is what it looks like. I like this. I don't think I would use the sleeves if I was going to do it again, because the armholes are quite wide, and you can see in the original picture that the sleeves are also quite wide, and that seems like impractical for my lifestyle. But I do like it in the sleeveless version. If I make it again, I would add the panels to the bottom to make it longer, and I would also move the armholes closer to the neckline so that they're not, you can see in this picture here, they come down like over the cap of my shoulder, which is a little constricting. And the other thing I did, and I did this mostly because in this version, when I first finished it and I looked at it in the mirror, I thought, well, it kind of looks like I'm wearing a tablecloth. So, which I am. So in order to like sort of mitigate that a little bit, I added ties. I had some black Petersham ribbon, and I added ties under the arms and just pull it back to the back and tie it loosely. So the armholes are a little tight because first they come down a little low, and also I put this ties at the bottom of the armholes. I probably should have put them a little bit lower, but I wasn't really thinking about that when I did it. I may move those. In any case, I do really like the way this looks. It's kind of a fun thing to wear. I'm wearing it here just in with my yoga leggings. I would not wear it like this. This particular top I would wear with like my, I have just a pair of plain black wide leg pants, what I'd probably wear with that. I do think it's really cool. I really like the way it looks. I have another fabric that I could make this out of, and I am thinking about it. It would be, but like I said, I would add the borders, so it would be longer all the way around. All right, so that was my first one. My second one was Vogue 1551. That's this one here. The first time I made this, I cut the pattern, I think it's a size 12, and I made this pattern just as is. Except that this pattern is supposed to have a double layer skirt. I made this out of an old sheet, and I had another sheet, but I didn't really want to cut into it if I didn't need to. And since this isn't a sheer fabric like the one in the original photograph, I didn't really feel like I needed the second layer, so I just made the longer layer. I don't think I changed anything else about this except that in the original pattern it's supposed to have a binding around the cuff, and I added a fold-up cuff to mine. Alright, so this one is 100% cotton, an old sheet. It's hard to see in these pictures, but it does have like little black specks on it, so it looks almost like Dalmatian-y. I kind of love this thing. I was really thinking of using this more like a robe, like around the house, but I could equally, I could also use it just to like go to yoga, like throw it over my yoga clothes, run to and from yoga, and still look like I'm dressed. I really like this thing. I decided to make it again. This time, I made it in a polyester crepe georgette. And if any of you has any idea why I would have 3 yards of polyester crepe georgette in my stash, I would appreciate knowing, because I don't know. I have no idea what made me buy that. Anyways, it is a really cool, the print on this is really cool, but this time I also left the second layer of the skirt off, because this is a printed fabric and the backside is white. So if you move around, you see the white, and I thought the less of that you can see, the better. So I just, once again, went with the single layer for the skirt. The other thing I did in this one is I shortened the bodice, and I'm going to say I shortened it 1.5 inches all the way around. So this one definitely fits me better. The armholes are a little bit big, but for what it is, I think it's totally fine. I will definitely wear this. It's also kind of nice because even I'm not a huge fan of polyester for a number of reasons, but I will say it's super easy to throw on and throw off and throw in a chair, and it's not like wrinkly or anything like that. It just, you know, it looks exactly the same when you pick it back up. So there is that. The other thing I did was, both of these little jacket things have tie closures at the front. And for some reason I had it stuck in my head that I needed to have like pony beads to put on there. So I went to a local craft store and I bought, I'll show you. Okay, so I went to a local craft store. I knew they had pony beads. I was like, I'll just get a small bag of pony beads and use them for this one like tie thing on here. That'll be so cute, whatever. So I got there and they have 2 sizes of pony beads. They have this large bag and then they have a small bag, which is this one. So now I'm gonna put pony beads on everything because I don't know what to do with like 1,000 black plastic pony beads. This is how I end up with things in my stash that I don't understand. All right, you guys. I think that is it for me this week. Let me check my notes and see. Yes, that is in fact all I have for you today. This coming Monday is a holiday here in the US, so a happy Labor Day to everybody here who celebrates, and to everybody else, just have a great week. And I will see you all next time. Until then, I wish you all happy sewing.